Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to season 7. For some reason, we're still here. Episode 14 of the Plastic Crack podcast. But today, we're delighted to be joined by Mr. Andy Hobday, a man of many hats or many games that we all seem to be playing at the minute. So we've snared him to ask him lots of questions about those games and where they're going. Are you right, Andy? How are you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
No, you're welcome. And we can welcome Steve back, who was off because he was poorly. He had a note from his mum last week.
I had a massive note because I had a really stinking headache for 4 days and it sucked.
How you feeling? You're better now?
Oh, yeah. Much better. Much better, thank you.
I noticed that there's less lights on in your room. What's happening?
Yeah.
Is that just to keep the migraine at bay?
No, I don't like light. It's like
you don't like going outdoors. You don't like people. You don't like light. I know you like weird beer and weird.
I'm essentially Gollum.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. And of course, as always, no, he's that way. He's down there. Dom is here, back in the boot room. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, mate. Yeah, all good. All good indeed. Ready for another exciting Monday night. Absolutely.
Well, I've got to say that this is the highest number of questions that I think we've ever had sent in for a guest. I mean, Charlie did get a lot of questions, but they were kind of fired at him rapid fire as we were going through it. There seems to be a lot of questions.
I think everything Charlie does is rapid.
It is.
Yeah, including pricing things up when the doors open at salute, you know. Yeah, turning around and adding price tags onto things. Excellent. I can see we've got loads of people in the chat already. I'm not going to go through everybody, but if you guys have got some questions as we go on, put them in the chat, and Dom and I and Steve will try and star them as we go through. And as long as Andy doesn't mind, we will pop those to him. And of course, I should say, yes, we are sponsored by the lovely guys over at Boards and Swords. So remember to womble on over there and put in the PCP5 code, and you'll get a very, very nice 5% discount when you check out as well. So welcome to everybody on the catch-up. Welcome to Mr. Paul Hicks, who's totally not here to heckle. His way through. Do you know what? I was keeping an eye out in there.
He wouldn't answer the phone. He wouldn't answer the phone to me today.
Is he the most contacted person in your phone book? Is it just backwards and forwards about things discussing and him saying yes or no?
Yes. We message each other a lot, but because he's sculpted, I try to ring him. But today, he refused to answer his phone for some reason.
We got. Well, to be fair, I reorganized my phone, and unfortunately, so my business partner's name is Dan, and the next person that appears next to him in the phone book is Dom. So I end up calling Dom a lot when I mean to ring Dan, and I start at random times.
I'm getting very good at organising his digs and his schedule, but I don't think it actually helps his.
No. I'll start ringing Dan and asking him about. Seleucid or something. We get in there anyway. Well, I think what we'll do before we jump in and have a little catch up with each other. First of all, it would just be for those of you who don't know who Andy is. I suppose it's time. Andy, do you mind sort of, introducing yourself and just letting people know who you are and what you do, and essentially what you've been working on, because I actually checked it's 2.5 years since you were last on, and there's quite a lot happened in there. I think it was just before the second version of Gangs of Rome went on to Kickstarter, or just before it released. It would have been just before it released. I think that was the last time you're on, and obviously things have happened since then. So yeah, the floor is yours.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Currently. If we work backwards, is probably a good idea. Currently, I'm working for Wargames Atlantic, and I have been there for just over a year now. And they brought me on board to write games for them and organise some structure around making some games to go with their lovely ranges of plastic miniatures. And that really happened off the back of the Barons War. And just it's about a year ago, well, it's over a year ago, before I joined them, they asked me if I wanted to do plastic miniatures for the Barons War, which we did, and they proven to be a huge success. And off the back of that, we did a starter set in a version 2, and that has actually been a year now, and it's been a bit of a whirlwind 12 months.
That one
really.
There it is.
And we're still at the point where we're struggling to keep that starter set in stock. It's just ridiculous. But good ridiculous.
Why do you think it's been so successful, Andy? Apart from that, they're beautiful figures and a fantastic game. But why? Why?
I think it's just a great product. I mean, there's everything in there that you just buy. It's a great price point, I think. You can pick it up. You can have it as a complete army for yourself. A complete retinue or 1,000 points, or it works. We've made it work for 2 500-point armies. So it's just a really good place to jump in. And because there's some terrain, and at the time of launch, the rulebook had everything in. It was just a great set. I think we really thought about if it was going to be the first thing that we worked on together, we should really take some time and plan out, what's a great product. And I think we just really hit the nail on the head. Having the plastics already in place really helped as well. And it's, if I could bottle it, Dom, it would be amazing. I don't know, but we've sold, we sold well over 10,000 copies of Barons War First Edition in the 5 years. In a year, we've surpassed that with version 2. So that's the difference, and I believe we would have sold more if we could have kept it in stock. So it's a great logistical problem to have. It's got great, like you say, great miniatures that you can kit bash across all of them, and also I think the rules are really good. I think we had 5 years of play testing the rules when they came out, and the changes we made were all changes that we felt would make the game a better game. We didn't change anything for the sake of it. So I think the people who were already on board with the Barons War stayed on board, and I think the plastics brought a load of new people in. So I think it's a combination of both of those.
I think it came at a really good, just the right time. I think that there was a lot of people who were looking for something that set, especially. It came along, you've got, as you say, you've got everything in there. The game itself has got, it's kind of going to be, if you're purely from sort of my perspective, and probably Dom's as well, although I do know Dom likes to build lists, and I like lists to a certain extent. It's got the right level of crunch for both people who who just want to play games that are historically themed, and people who want to min-max their lists and all of that. So it appeals to quite a wide base. I know obviously there's organized play, there's tournaments, there's also loads of scope for narrative scenarios, like the bits and bobs we've been doing, and of course that you've got in the the King John book. So, and then with that starter set, with obviously the plastics and support, and then obviously the metal range that some guy sculpted that we don't know. Some guy. Some bloke. Some bloke. I've got a troll here that I'm that he sculpted. I've just been painting grey on a troll's ass to sculpt up. It's good. So I remember last year at Salute, and that's where I picked up the box, and then coming back, and then I did a video, and it wasn't really. I just thought, I'll do a video sort of unboxing it, and it went mad. I wasn't quite expecting, because ultimately it's just a video of me taking the box apart, and and then of course in the group, and then at the local shops and that, they couldn't keep. There's people just searching for it. There was so many questions in this group, and I saw them in the Barons War group as well, just saying, does anyone know where this is in stock? Because everywhere was going out, which must be a really nice feeling in one way when you see it, and then obviously the next feeling is how do we get it out to people?
No, it's just been such a roller coaster for the last year, and it's a real good problem to have. And we had a community already, which really helped. And I believe now this has kind of justified what we did with doing a second edition. And it's all been about serving that community and then taking the game further. So that's the idea of it, and it seems to have worked, And let's not say that the help War Games Atlantic has given us has been massive. They, by moving into plastic, by them just being so great and saying you can have whatever sets you want in plastic, and we'll then go and make it available to all our trade accounts. That's obviously helped as well. It's just got more eyes on the game. So and it has all of those things that you said. I believe I wrote a game that I want to play, and it's one of the things that I try to do while I'm designing games is I'm not trying to think about what game would people want to play. I write a game that I enjoy playing, and then all the people who want to play that game will play the game. And people who encounter it and play it and don't like it, that's great too, because we're all different. So they will go and find something else to play. There's plenty of other great stuff out there. But I think having the level of choice that you've got to create units, which, until the King John book came out, were quite similar. So, you could, by giving them different abilities and different numbers and different commanders, that was kind of the choice you had. But it was enough choice up until the King John book, I think, so people could choose that. But then when the game played and you had all the information on your retinue list, it's quite once you've played a few games, I think it's quite straightforward to play if you've got that information in front of you. So I think people coming to it, they've got that crunchy bit when they're not playing, so they can debate army lists, and then they can play a game, and it can either be a straight fight, or it can be, with objectives, and you can make it quite narrative driven. So I think it without trying to, it covers all of the bases for people. No,
I think that's fair. Dom, Steve as well. Steve, I know you like to build a list for your armies prior to actually making them as building them, physically building them. Whereas I kind of do the other thing, I build loads of stuff and go, right, now how the hell can I fit this in and use it all together? How can I possibly get all these knights into one list? So that was, really, really cool.
It is rare to find a game where that does appeal to both sides of it, I think. Where somebody like me does like to spend a bit of time building a list, working it through, not necessarily min-maxing or anything like that, but just kind of it goes back to when I used to do WRG rules, where you built your perfect list and you worked through the different units for you that you like playing with. And it's a similar kind of thing, but it equally works with weirdos like Martin that just go, I'm going to have some nutters that just have torches to burn everything down. That's what he loves.
Bucket. I think you mean the bucket of boiling piss, I believe.
That's the one.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that went through many iterations. Thank you very much. Being able to make, as we would say, we're 10 minutes in now, being able to make a proper bastard out of your leader, just with things like traits and that. The certain amount of customization that you can add is obviously something that's really. I've seen Marco's dropped in. How you doing? Of course, Marco does the awesome artwork. And was on the stand at Salute. Hang on, I did just where are we? There we go. I did nab this for later on. Is that one of Marco's?
Oh, nice.
No, that's Peter Dennis, that one.
Oh, right, there we go. Of course, I screwed that up.
Take it off now.
Whoops. Oh well, I'll find one. There we go.
How do you balance that, Andy?
I have. Sorry, go on. Dom.
I was just going to ask you, because that sort of the combination of a game that appeals to both, both those who like the crunchiness and those who like the creativity of it all. I mean, was that a conscious thing with the rules, or how did you balance that out? And did it mean you have to do compromises in what you did, or did it just all flow together?
Oh yeah, a lot of play testing is the key. The good thing is, and with Baron's War, is they're all humans. So your stat line can be pretty standard across everybody. Yeah. So what makes people different is the equipment they have or their training. So that once you've nailed that initial stat line, it becomes like a Rosetta Stone, and you can plug that in, and then you're just moving up and down for pips from there. What makes it tricky is abilities, because you can kind of guess what the ability would cost, but you have to play it, and then you have to play it in different different settings and against different people, and it's never going to be totally right. But the idea is to play it enough so it feels right, and you can't. It's impossible to get right all the time. So playing some games allows that. Then, if you have that kind of calculator created, you can then be quite narrative, because you can say, okay, how many points do I want to make available? You can't leave it totally open, because as we know, we're all a bit crazy. So you just stack it up, and you can always make the ultimate warrior that's going to go and just beat everything. So there has to be some kind of constraint along there. But, the idea was to make it very much a narrative game. And I also think with the Baron's War, I think if you really, really, really want to break it, you can really go and break it. And, well done. Well done. Should we play another game now where we actually enjoy it? And there's always that element as well. One of the things we hear a lot about is shooting being overpowered, and maybe it is, but maybe if you've got 5 guys being shot at by loads of guys trained with bows, you're probably going to die. So there is that element of it, and
unless it's Martin shooting.
My shooting,
of course.
Robin's been getting loads of flack in the latest battle report. There's so many people that are telling Robin, you needed more archers. You should have taken veteran archers. You should have taken crossbows. Martin took measured shot. Why didn't you? He's now I think he's actually decided he's only ever going to take green archers just to annoy those people. Yes. Yeah.
There you go. Not if you say green archers.
Yeah, but that's
so.
Sorry, I was going to say you're on top of that as well with the archers, and as you say, in my very first game, I went in with my lord and died so fast, and was taken out. Which you kind of look at it in other games, and I think it's obviously just because the way we're conditioned, even in mass battle games, for your commander to survive because he rolls and he escapes and he gets into a nearby unit, and he's in combat, and Robin, it was Robin. He got a hit on me, and I failed the shield roll. I was like, okay, right. So how many wounds has he got left? None. What do you mean? Where's the other hit? None. So he's dead. Yes. and second game, he's at the back of the unit. And that was that also something, just building on what you were just saying, and a conscious decision to that vulnerable, because they aren't superhumans. They do die, and in the Baron's War they die at a worrying frequency. So
they do, and but also it's a bit about learning the game. So you could put him in a unit where you pad him out, and if you're taking off your casualties, each of those casualties that go equals a wound. So you can look at it that way as well. I just think also that we're all kind of, if you're of a certain age, you've been hero hammered. So you played Warhammer, where it is all about superhero generals and commanders, and they have 6 to 10 wounds, and they can go in and mince up a unit, and that's okay too. But that wasn't the feel we wanted. We wanted the I want, well, you know, I say we because there was a few of us who play tested. We want that feeling of risk and reward. So, you know, if anybody ran in ahead of the rest of the unit and into a bunch of crossbow guys, you're probably going to die. You know, so it's kind of giving it that kind of balance. You know,
absolutely. I just went and picked this up because I know this one was Marco. So
that is Marco. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I put this, which is fantastic, and I saw as well that there was huge kudos on this because John had the seal in his hand rather than a quill, which is what a lot of the artwork when people do. I'm going to draw Magna Carta. They have him with a quill. Obviously, I love it because Fulks is there in the background, just being horrible, just standing there in the back. I did know. Was it your request to have William Marshall standing right there? Because I know you do like William Marshall quite a lot.
I do like William. Yeah, well, he needs to be.
He needs to be. He probably was.
He needed to be in there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I guess that then leads into saying you've got that baseline of things, and then you do Warhost, which then because then you've got elves and dwarves and orcs.
Yeah, having said it was all very
magic.
Simple with humans, now you've gone and completely thrown that in the air by doing something non-humans.
Yeah, that's really difficult. That's the difference. That was really difficult. It's really then about calculations and working with George Asling. He's very good at it. So one of the things he is a really good number cruncher. He's like a living computer. So I can get there in the end, but it takes me a long time. But I can just say, George, what should this be? And he said, well, based on what we have, it should be this. And it's like, oh yeah, that's probably right. So having George really helps. But again, a lot of it is playing. You know, it's having a balance of playing. I think adding different races, factions, whatever we call them these days, into the game. The most difficult thing actually is not making them tropey. So if you're doing orcs, you know, what do you want your orcs to be? If you're doing elves, what do you want your elves to be? And how that fits into the whole background and the lore. Because, you know, in my head, when I think orcs, elves, whatever, dwarves, my head automatically goes to Tolkien because, you know, that's what I've read for the last 40 years, you know. And not doing that is very difficult. So when you're starting with the stats, we're actually saying, how do you want them to feel in the game? You know, going to that narrative bit, Dom. How do you want them to feel? How do you want them to work? You know, how should they play? You know, and not Tolkien at the end. And then you kind of build out their characters, and then you feed the stat points into that. And that you have to do it that way around. Otherwise, they all end up as Games Workshop or Tolkien.
Makes sense. Yeah.
That's very cool. No, well, I think what we'll do, because I want to go into Warhost a little bit more a little later on, because there's been questions about Warhost, and also you, as I said before the show, you are the man. Well, you're the man with the rules, and Hicks is the man with the sculpts that's managed to convince Dom to paint orcs. So we get to explore.
I'm really
that.
not feeling myself at all.
And I know that there's loads of people who when we had Paul on and we were looking at the sculpts and that, and I know there's people who obviously love the sculpts, want to know more about the rules, so I want to chat a little bit about that.
Okay.
Let me just give Andy just a quick breather for a second, just to catch up, and just quickly see what people have been up to, and then we'll dive right into rules and games and what it's like working with Paul, and everything else. Steve, you weren't very well. Did you manage to get anything done?
A little bit. I was actually off on Friday, so I had like a long weekend.
John.
Oh, God.
John.
No, I did get some. I was actually quite productive. I did a lot more as expected, and you'll be glad to know it's not weird shit, Dom. It's not weird shit.
Wow.
I've actually been painting bolt action. The reason being is I've been rewatching Band of Brothers. That's
It's always dangerous.
It's always dangerous. And the next thing you know, I've bought a box of the Warlord Games Bolt Action D-Day Paras. I painted the first section of 8 men in like 2 days.
Very nice.
And I was shocked at how fast I actually painted them. Although
Please tell me those are transfers on their arms.
Oh yeah, they are the decals that go in there.
Sorry, no, not to question them. I was looking at those going, Jesus.
No, they're the decals. And I managed to put them all on, didn't lose any of them, and didn't swear, which doesn't normally happen when I'm putting decals on that size. But yeah, so I kept painting, and I added a bazooka as well. So that's all.
Very
10.
cool.
I can't believe I painted a third of a box in about 3 days. That's terrifying. So I've got another 20 to paint to finish the planned platoon, because it's based around the Battle of Carentan. So it's going to be the 101st Airborne and the 702nd Tank Destroyer Battalion. To go up against my Carentan Fallschirmjäger. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. I've been painting bolt action again.
Okay, back to World War II. Dom, what you been doing? Well, I know what you've been doing. So,
do you? Oh dear.
Well, model-wise, anyway.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's been a usual. Well, what's becoming increasingly usual eclectic mix for me. I don't know what is going on in my painting queue at the moment. So I did some more tribesmen for my Congo set. So I think these are first core, or I can't remember where I got them from. But anyway, they've been sitting there waiting to be painted up. So I painted those up just to get them done, because I think we're going to have a game of Congo down the club at some point fairly soon, Paul and I. He's managed to get hold of a set of the rules, which is really cool, because they're difficult, because they're out of print, so very difficult to get hold of. So that was that. And then Madness descended. This is the only thing I can say, really. Yeah, I did some things, really.
Some things?
Yeah. I just sort of picked these up at Salute. So as Mr. Hicks is, that's the shaman or the wizard or whatever he is, I don't know, orky one, and his bodyguards. And I really enjoyed doing them. They were great fun to do. Dead simple to do, because they're just so much definition on them. It was really, really fun. And it is just fun to do something completely different. Cool. I didn't go with the route that, and I was looking on the website, they had somebody who painted them up and done them in sort of war paint and stuff, but I just went for green, really greeny, mucky color. That was good fun to do. And then if that wasn't bad enough, it went even weirder.
I'm doing him at the minute. That's awesome.
Yeah, so he's a brute.
Well, yeah,
I did enjoy doing him, actually. He's a heck of a figure. That's what you're working on, is it?
Yes. I've in fact, I've just painted. I was just painting that view there right before the before the game. I was actually building an army list yesterday for it, and I even named him, but I'll keep it off.
I haven't got
he'll die very quickly.
That'll finish him off, definitely.
Yeah.
So I have to think of a name for him at some point. But like you said, with all the orcs and whatnot, there's sort of unaccounted bits of heads and arms and bits that you're painting away. And you think, what's that? Is that is that something? And you can see the head on that guy on there as well as a skull. So that was fun. Enjoyed doing that. It's something different to do, isn't it? And then I got back to again. I've don't know why, but I'm carrying on with my Mongols. So a few Mongol cavalry.
Oh, nice.
These are, I think these are. Oh, I can't remember where these are from, but anyway, they're metal ones. and a few more heavier types finished up. So enjoyed doing those all and getting very bright and colourful with them. And then I sort of had a lie down and a serious word with myself, so I thought I'd better do something a bit more sensible. So I did an Ottoman World War One.
This is what you've done in a week.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. There's a couple of other things almost done. So yeah, that's basically what I got up to this week. There you go.
Oh, lovely.
What about you?
Well, it wasn't just because of who we had on today, but I was also working on because I'd finished a whole load of other things. And,
I'm not, David. No, I'm not.
We'll offend everyone. So I finished the York starter force raw band. So I finished the spear guys. So I've just done. I finished them, and yes, great fun, and stabbing myself on the wire spears, which is light, but yeah, they were fun.
Very nice.
I enjoyed doing those and adding bits and bobs, and then I did the little command group, and I decided because I didn't know what to do for a flag, so I did something else. So I decided to thread loads of spare skulls.
Oh, cool.
I like that. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
But threading those things and drilling the skulls took longer than painting the miniatures. Also, as Robin pointed out, now I can't unsee it. He said, because that's the York leader in the middle, and Robin pointed out that he looks like a happy Labrador. And now I can't unsee. It's just like he's just happy to be there. I think Robin was. He's just happy to be there. He doesn't really care what's going on. He's just happy to be there. But
happy chopping things.
There we go.
Brilliant.
That's it. But I tried to make the York with the banner look like he was really put upon. And again, I was chatting to Robbie. He's a bit like he failed his last appraisal, so he's been made to carry the banner. So I finished those. Those skulls and bones. I got the pot of this stuff called Kraut Cover Grim Dark basing stuff, so it comes with little skulls and bones and everything in it. So I just fished out a few of those, and I bought another one. So that's what you got on their bases there, and another one of their mixes. And it's quite nice stuff.
That's great. Yeah.
I wanted it to look like a sort of like, maybe they've set fire to something else.
Here he is again, setting fire again. God damn.
I have to find. What do you want from? I just said you're not going to like the next couple of battle reports on the channel because they all revolve around fire as well. So I'll have to get something.
Martin,
but yes,
I'll definitely be looking for an album called "Drilling the Skulls." It sounds
drilling this.
It sounds rather. Sludge.
I tell you what, as well, I've been really looking forward because I'll be putting these up on Instagram in the next few days, and it's finally an excuse to put 3 inches of blood destroy the orcs.
Yes,
is one of my favorite songs. So the pictures will get like no likes, but hopefully someone will like the music. Will be on there going, yes. We went on there to like. There was a lot of burning. There was much burning in that game. Burning. So yeah, that's what I've been doing is painting those. So I'm on to a troll next. So once I've got the troll done, I believe Robin and I are gonna have a game. I think Robin's got his stuff ready. I've got a picture in the viewers' pictures of what Robin's been up to. But he's painting ruins and things at the minute, elf buildings to fight over and not burn. They've already been burned. So they're already been done. But yeah, so it's been a very Warhosty, Andy Hobday, Paul Hicks orientated kind of week on the on the painting. So excellent. Right, let me just quickly bring up. Oh god, everything's just gone a bit. So many comments, I can't keep them all starred. More skulls. Do you know what? I don't have an excuse to put lots of skulls on things. I don't paint lots of things with skulls, so it's quite nice. Everyone else is complaining about them normally on things, and I'm throwing them on here, trying to find places to actually put more skulls, more things. I've got this troll, and I need to work out what I'm gonna do on his base. But right then, coming back around. So I guess Andy, the thing to ask you about is King John. Because you've talked about the release of Baron of the second edition, was the intention always that King John was going to be the first expansion, and was the plan always for it to be, I'm going to grab it, this lovely chunky expansion that it is?
We've actually cut stuff out of it.
Oh my lord!
So
Wow.
one of the real positives about the Barons War being going for so long now, I'm not on my own. So always had George helping and Mark Farr from Futsal with playtesting, and we had other playtesters. Then a few years ago, Benedict got involved, and Benedict. I think I'm an armchair historian. I know what I like. I go and research it, but I'm not from that background. And he knows loads of stuff, more than I ever know. Plus, he's a gamer, etc. So when Benedict came on board, we kind of leveled up. And having him there, he gave us another interesting way of looking at it, that we should put, a level of history in the book as well. I was like, well, here's all about William Marshall. You don't need to know anymore. And they look like knights. And here's King John. Okay, let's play some games, everyone. So Benedict really took it on board. So it wasn't called King John originally, but what we needed to do was visit the expansion like Death and Taxes that we'd done before, which had the Outlaws and it had a campaign bit in there. The Welsh, which we'd released as a separate PDF, and all these other little bits, and try and corral them into where we go with second edition. And that manuscript just grew and grew and grew and grew. And because Benedict was editing and keeping me in check with the initial rule book when we did second edition, he became the scribe. So in the end, I was just like, you just take it and write it, and he's done such a really good job. And then it kind of flipped. We've been keeping him in check. So the reality is, we could have had a 300 odd page King John book, but that would have just been ludicrous. So we cut it down to 240 pages, and we feel that gives enough history. It really, I think it puts the game on steroids because of all the extra faction lists we have in there. And then we wanted to, when we realized it should be called King John, we were able then to bookend it in his life. So it kind of took it outside of the Barons War, the first Barons War, and we could add more in. And obviously we didn't go into too much detail in his glorious death at Newark Castle to dysentery. But, it allowed us to have to end it, with the Battle of Lincoln, and we could get all those bits in. So it became just a great book, and, it's just got Benedict all over it. He's done a fantastic job of it. And what I'm trying to say is it's enabled us to become a team, and because of that, it's not just one person writing, and we can all of a sudden, the output for Barons War has been able to grow.
I think when it was announced, because I got excited, Dom got excited. I think we made Steve excited, but he didn't know why he was excited, but he was excited. And then in the group, obviously you were releasing sort of weekly, bi-weekly updates on it. And then I remember the one where you started talking about the Poitevins list, and once you started talking about that was like, that's ace. That's brilliant. Yeah, you're looking at the French stuff that not a lot of people really think about, unless you really know what King John is like. Everyone thinks about the Barons War, Magna Carta, and then the dysentery. That's on a bit with Richard. But all the stuff to do pre the Barons War and the losses that he suffered and the battles there, it is fascinating to see those lists sort of added in was very, very cool. And when you read through, how do you decide how much does history play a part in the flavour that you try to give a list? Because it's got to still be playable. You can't make them superhuman, but
No.
you still want to sort of nod to the history as well. So like the Poitevins, you've got this alleged chivalry that they have, and you know, things like that. How do you start with that? Do you just look at the history and go, how do we make this work in the game?
Yes, exactly that. You know, we say these are the different lists we want to create, and it really is what if we were having a discussion about the Welsh, what makes the Welsh in this period, what makes the Scots the Scots. So we have, like I say, we have a playtesting group, and we sit round and we talk about it. You know, we really get, and you get the danger is you get so much feedback that, and it's all really good. And what you want to do is try and shoehorn it all in. And then, as we know, the more you put in, and then you get onto the tabletop, the more complicated it becomes, and then it gets bogged down. So the real trick is to take it all out. So you want to just keep the one thing or the two things that would, you know, that you would say that's them, and that's the key. Trying to distill it down into those couple of traits or that structure of the force. And again, a lot of it is, you know, the thing like we're talking about the Welsh, the thing with the one shoe on, one shoe off business, you know, it infuriates me. You know, but it's all propaganda. You know, it's not true. You know, it's just British propaganda. But you know, if everybody talks about the Welsh in medieval times, it's one shoe on, one shoe off, isn't it? Because it's meant to denote that they were poor, but it's not that at all. So you've got to be very careful not to get caught into those traps. And ultimately, when it's how it plays on the table, does that feel like what you believe it would be like? And you know, if the people who've been playing it and the people who have bought into Baron's War in the playtesting, and they say yes, that's how I see it, and we all go, yeah, that's right, then we go with it. And again, like we said earlier, some people will play it and go, that's not how I see the Welsh to be, and it's like, yeah, sorry, mate, you weren't there when we decided that's how the Welsh played. You know, but that's how we feel they should be, you know. And we're not dogmatic about it. And you know, I'm a firm believer, you know, I'm sure we talked about this before, I'm a firm believer that when you write a game or you create a book and you set it out there, it belongs to the people playing the game. So if someone can challenge it and they've got a reason for it to be different, then of course we'll listen. But ultimately it's that, what, you know, it's again going back to what makes them quite tropey. It's kind of like what makes a dwarf, what makes a Welsh, you know, fighter or Welsh fighter, and you just have to find that and just distill it into the rules. Yeah,
no, that's. I mean, one of the big ones obviously is the way you've we were saying the flavour, especially with say the English armies. I've nabbed this photo for it because I think it encapsulates it beautifully. Is you can have an entirely mounted force now with the English armies, because you have the squires in there now, which is awesome, and I can see being great fun for some of these people more knights. I meant to say actually sort of earlier on, so I don't mean to bounce around as much, the game, and something I didn't realize, and I think Andy and oh dear. Are we talking pre-2010 or post?
Definitely, if you weren't there, how did you know? Bit there, so yeah. Love it.
Dom and I were talking about this when we played it, and I think Dom, you're in favour, and I think Steve, you mentioned this as well. And I can't think of other games. Mass battle games will force you back, force units back, but I think this might be one of the only games that I know of and that I really enjoy, and it's such a simple mechanic that arrow fire will force people back, and you could basically get people off of objectives because no one's going to sit there as a rain of arrows hits them. So if once someone's sitting on an objective, you're not just it's not just about charging them to get them off. You can just rain arrows down with them with your green bowman, and hopefully you'll get a few hits and force them back. And it's little for me, it was it's little touches like that really make the set. It just kind of works.
I agree, and also this force back mechanism is so you can take objectives. It's exactly that. Or when you're fighting into buildings, or when we start to look at the siege, which we're working on at the moment, the idea is that you can actually fight your way into buildings.
Yeah.
And what I used to find is when you get locked in combat, you end up just stuck in the doorway, and no one's letting you in until you've murdered everybody who's in the way before you get in. And we wanted this feeling that you can actually force your way in.
Attrition, you're just going to keep on.
Attrition,
Pushing. And that's essentially what happened in that game, the siege game we just played. It was just a slaughter. I mean, the gateway was. I mean, there was a real push and pull. So I got the gate open. Then my men got pushed out, and then he would come out, and then we pushed through. For some reason, I decided that running 3 knights through them and leaving them on their own in the middle of the courtyard was a good idea. Poor John Russell. And then, but no, as you say, and then when you get up on the battlements, because we were using the siege bits that you'd put in Outremer in the first one, and then sort of just adding little bits and bobs. So is the plan to build on what you've done there and then just expand this out into its own individual thing, or would siege rules say be part of another sort of, I don't know, I'm trying to think who's done some sieges, like Acre or something like that, like a Richard thing? Would that be like on the cards? Would you include them sort of in with that?
Yes, it's where to. I've just seen what Paul's written. It depends on where where we put it.
We'll just put this we don't normally have to deal with this level of abuse.
I know it's.
Yeah, I do daily. Yes, for Outremer, it would make sense. That's where it would be, because there's a lot of, there's a lot of sieges there. However, we've got so much work. This is the beauty of having Benedict on board. He's like a machine. So we'll talk, and then he'll go away and say, "Oh, I've just done this." And for Christmas, he said, "Oh, I've done you a Christmas present." And I was like, "Oh, maybe he's done this and this." And he's actually come back after Christmas and he's wrote me a King Richard book.
Yeah.
And that was like my Christmas present. And it's like, and I said, "What do you mean, King Richard?" He says, after he got ransomed and he comes back to England and he's really upset with everybody. And then he goes to France and he lays siege to everybody. And he said, "Wouldn't that be great?" And I was like, "Yeah, it'd be brilliant." Yeah. So he said, "Oh, yeah, I've written it. Here it is." So we're currently looking at that at the minute. And I think,
man,
there's a couple of bits in there that we need to just go over and discuss. Some of it's the siege, but it's also got campaign rules in and everything. So, I think it might go in there.
Cool. That would be ace. You got to put Ivanhoe. You got to put Ivanhoe in there. That's got Ivanhoe running around. And then you can meet up with the Merry Men. Oh god,
yeah. We've also got Outremer, which is we're just working through the army lists. We're playtesting them. We've also written a Eastern Princes book, which does all of the rest of Eastern Europe, and it goes into obviously Russia and Poland and all of that, and it's got all the Northern Crusades, etc. That's all written. It's just out there being play tested with some Polish guys. So it's not a lack of material. It's a lack of focus.
Yeah.
So it's where we go. But Sorry, I know. I was going to say before we go, this would probably be a place to ask, because I know I'm going to get, because I've already been messaged like 3 or 4 times separate by new people. So this is the 15 separate people have asked me this, and this is one, which is, will there be a anarchy supplement at some point? Because everyone for some reason seems desperate to do the anarchy. Yes, is the answer. We actually have an anarchy supplement written. But it was written for version 1, and what happened is it kind of got stuck in the middle of moving from V1 to V2. So we're desperate to do it. The other discussion we have is, where does it fit? Because we've got Conquest, which is obviously we're focusing around the conquest of, the Norman Conquest up till the First Crusade. So it kind of, does it go in Conquest? Does it go in Barons' War? Where does it fit? So we're kind of having that discussion. Plus, I feel we need to make some plastic to go with it as well.
I was going to ask you that, Andy. How much of this is going to be influenced by availability of kits from Wargames Atlantic or elsewhere? Because, a lot of it you can reuse. But if you start heading into, Eastern Europe,
different periods,
a very different looking armor and figures, and you can buy metal ones, and probably there are manufacturers out and doing there. But I guess you've got to have a plan hand in glove with the figure production as well.
Totally, and that would be absolutely the plan. If we bring out a new supplement, we would bring the plastic kits to come with it. When we do Outremer, it's going to come with a lot of new plastic. So that's what we're working on at the moment behind the scenes. So when that's ready, it's going to be an avalanche of plastic to go with it. And it's not just going to be miniatures, as in figures. We're talking about siege engines and everything. So, one of the beauties of now being part of Wargames Atlantic is we can now just support it. And, the volume that we can make and in the speed that we can make it, we can really come out with the right figures with the right books. And, what we're very mindful of is, we don't want to just totally flood everybody. No. So people want the Anarchy, people want Outremer, people want Eastern Princes. You can have it all, but do you want it all at once? I mean, I'm sure some people say yes. So we have to kind of,
he's down
pace ourselves. That's the thing as well. So,
very wise, because you want to have a bit of time for it to settle in the market, people to enjoy it. And I also guess give feedback on what things people liked and maybe weren't quite so comfortable with or whatever. Yeah.
Well, absolutely agree. And we want to spend some time, because one of the key things is we still do want all of the miniatures to work across the range. So if you were going to kit bash across them all, you can mix everything in. So it will take some time. And, we're trying to make quality product, which is really important for me. I think what I'm trying to say is, if you are interested in the Barons' War, you enjoy playing the Barons' War, and you want all of these different things, it's all coming. It's not that we haven't got it, it's just the timeline for it to come. So it's very exciting time for me.
It's all coming.
Well, I know Dan here is I believe he's starting to work on some Barons' War stuff, and Dan is from the Out of the Frying podcast. He runs our painting competition with Stu Mack at CrackCon each year, and I was catching the end of one of their videos the other day, and he was saying he's going to be working on some Barons' War stuff. So it is reaching a lot of people. I can't remember who I was chatting to on the stand at Salute. He said they felt, which if I say it, I don't want it to sound like an insult. So it is, but he said he felt like it had gone from being a game that only maybe historicals, people who are into historical wargaming or maybe the niche of that knew about, and it's broken through now into sort of a much wider audience with the plastics, with that starter set, and it's taking on a bit of a life of its own. So that's, which I think we can see in the community.
Absolutely. I think it's just that it reaches a tipping point, and I think it's tipped, and a lot of people have come to talk to us about it, and it's just really encouraging, because it is an historical game, and it's just nice. I mean, I initially come from a Games Workshop background many years ago, and we always say that's the recruiting ground, but it's nice, and I, in all honesty, I thinking of things I learned while I was at Games Workshop and applying it to historical gaming and trying to get people in to play historical games, and if it works and it allows people to cross that threshold, you know, it's encouraging. It's really encouraging. You know, it's really encouraging. And you know, we'll do our best to support. I mean, you know, we're talking about plastics for in the future. I've done the final today on the monks. I have the outlaws on my desk, you know, which I printed off, which are coming. We've just added to the mercenaries, you know, like the stuff that you'll be able to use for the Flemish and all of that stuff with a troubadour, etc. That set's virtually done. And we're now just briefing on the Welsh and the Scots. So, you know, that will finish off King John. And all of those, what's taken a bit of time is, a bit of it is my naivety, because I wanted it all to, again, kit bash across the piece. And I wanted the best product to come out. But they're all nearly done, so they will come out in fast succession. And that should hopefully finish off, you know, King John, Barons War, round 1, and then we're just going to go again. So
fantastic.
It's really encouraging. It's really encouraging.
Brilliant. I meant to add this up as you were talking, because of course you have this retinue set as well with the commands. So I mean, that's it. I mean, with like, you know, the sets that are coming out, the support, it looks awesome. Quite frankly, I was trying to think of another word for it, but I can't really think of a better one. And I think, that's it just encapsulates everything you were just saying. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a weird delay on my end. So if I stutter or something, it's because my internet, Haley's clearly turned the microwave on again. And that was weird. So going from Barons War and then going and looking at Warhost, where you have the compendium, which I've actually got next to me, because I was working out a list. Now, the compendium, I can't remember how you put this in the forward, but it's not it's a set of, how would you describe this? It's not a setting or a complete rule book yet. It's a way of playing the game, working towards that. That's a really rubbish way of explaining what I was trying to say. But how would you explain what the compendium actually is to the guys watching?
I would say it's a source book for the Barons War, to allow you to use elves and orcs and humans, etc. And at the time of writing this, which was a little while ago now, and magic, of course, because you can't have fantasy without magic in my book. It was really a toe in the water to see if anybody would be interested in playing, you know, Barons War rules with fantasy. You know, Barons War rules with a fantasy add-on, and it's just been ridiculously overwhelming. So it was a litmus test, really. But I think you know, a litmus test in that we made the book pretty comprehensive for people to take it and apply it to any kind of fantasy world that they wanted to play it in, with those, you know, the usual suspects. So yeah, and you know, I wanted Paul to do some fantasy figures as well, so it allowed us to start exploring that.
Nice. It doesn't sound like he took much convincing, to be fair, from when he came on. I mean, this is still one. I know this sounds really, because obviously this is a human, the human wizard. I absolutely love this figure, which is, you know, when you've got all of these kind of like awesome fantasy things. I just think that the character in it is ace. But I was just we put this guy up when you were. This is the dwarf. Is it the Sentinel? Is that it? The Earthbound Sentinel?
Yes. Yeah, it's Earthbound Sentinel. Yeah.
I mean, it's just very, very cool. It's I mean,
well, we've been very sorry. I just about to say we've been very, very lucky, because, you know, when we talk about Warhost, we talk about, you know, myself and Paul, but we mentioned Marco earlier, the artist, and having Marco working with us as well. It's the three of us really creating Warhost. His ability to take my crazy ideas and add some concept to them. He does all the concept work for us, and then he takes that and he starts to draw the artwork. So like there's a really nice piece of artwork for the Sentinel, but there's also a whole bunch of artwork that he's done for us that I don't show yet until we've got the figures and everything in place, so people don't beat us to the punch, you know.
That's fair.
But what we found is, because of people liking Warhost and wanting to play, we've now realized that we need to grow it and turn it into something special. And from when I was a teenager, which is over 40 years ago now. I know I don't look it, but well over 40 years ago now. I came into this through Tolkien and you know, David Eddings, all of these kind of books, and D&D and Games Workshop when it was all dwarf, you know, metal dwarves, etc. So fantasy has always been my thing. So what Warhost really is it's my passion project. And I'd realized over all the years I'd made lots and lots and lots of notes about crazy things, and in lots of different books, and I've started to corral all of this together. And I've realized that we've actually got a world we can really base it in, and things that we can grow it out of. And some of it's unashamedly ripped off of things. Some of it is which we've twisted, because, you know, it's really difficult to reinvent things with stuff that's out there. But hopefully a lot of what we're doing is actually going to make it quite exciting for people and make people want to fight there. And what I've been doing over the last few months is starting to write a blog, which is fleshing out the world.
There we go. I have that. Look at that. There we go.
So it's started, look at that. It's like we planned it, but and this is all of the stuff that I've had, you know, collected over years, you know, many years, and we're just beginning to form it all together. So that the artwork on the left with those elves with the troll, that's Marco. The one on the right is Peter Dennis. So it's beginning to take shape. It's really beginning to take shape, and it's pretty exciting. And how it all started was we wanted to be very traditional and do traditional sculpting, because that was what Paul and I, you know, Paul's a traditional sculptor and one of the best in my opinion. And we wanted it all to be quite traditional, but we both agreed now that we should start to explore plastic, resin, all of the options that we can go with it. So we're at a stage now really for it to just explode. So it's very exciting.
There's a certain, what I like about it, in especially when you with these guys, these are the Marines, aren't they? For the others, you've got some things in there which we're talking about. You can't reinvent the wheel, but you can certainly put your own feel on things. So there's stuff like this with the Marines. I was showing them to Dom at Salute, and the fact that you have heavy wolves that are dripping in chainmail, and which you don't see in other things. They're always like got some goblins on like light skinny looking wolves. Like, no, these are heavy ones. We would say some some heavy cavalry options. I just bought them before Dom had a chance. So I did.
The wolf as well, you know, we wanted orcs on wolves. We've also got orcs coming on horses, which is something that people don't normally do. But, you know, the actual wolf is, Paul got inspired from the American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
So brilliant. Instead of it being that typical orc, it's like that really
gangly
twisted,
legs
kind
out
of
like
really
this,
gangly thing. Yeah. So we're just pursuing all the things that we like. And again, people will either come with us or they won't. So, you know, but we're having a field day.
We talk to we have quite a few people on here now in the time in 7 seasons we've had, and the people who are passionate about what they do in their games, and that passion will bring people with it, and that comes through in the models and the rules, whether that's, you know, Warhost or the Baron's War. you know, and that I think that book shows the passion that's behind it because of the bloody size of the thing. You know, I mean,
all I'm hearing is some madman who has all these crazy ideas and he's being let loose and allowed to do it all from what it sounds like. And they're just yeah, go on, keep going.
My handler, I've been able to shake my handler. They don't know where I am at the minute. They'll catch me eventually.
Is there anything you've ever gone to Paul about and asked him to do that he's gone, no, I can't stop that? Or does he always?
No, no, he's good. Paul is just awesome. I mean, you know, when we start with the Barons War, again, it was a crazy idea of mine where I wanted to do some Barons War figures while I was at Footsore, and we just didn't have the budget to do them. And in the end, I knew Paul from working at Games Workshop, so he was my key timer when I used to run Games Workshop Plaza. That's our relationship. So I was his boss in one of the Games Workshop stores in the 90s, and I said, look, you know, let's do this. I want to create this range of Barons War figures. And he said, yeah, let's do it. And we had to kickstart it because we had no money. And that's where it all started from. So he's always game. He you know, he's always up for it. He may not be as into something as I am, and then it doesn't see the light of day as quickly as I'd like it. You know, he pushes it down the list. But he's never not that I can think of. He's never said no. So he's a great person to work with.
He's
it's good. Talking about the Barons War stuff, you know, we've got when we did all the metal miniatures a while ago, we did one Outremer and we never finished it. So about 16 months ago we finished like the second part of that range. So we have a whole load of Outremer figures that we haven't released yet. So we're just talking about how we're going to release them, and we were thinking that we might just finalize, you know, have a last hurrah Kickstarter to bookend the whole Kickstarter period and just end it there. So, but we got some beautiful, we just got Steve Beckett painting them now. We got some beautiful miniatures to finish off that metal range.
Oh, fantastic.
Still to come.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. Didn't Ken who's on it, who hasn't been seen in the wild for a few weeks since Adepticon, funnily enough, he picked up the Outremer stuff. Some mad person who basically just decided,
I think it was on he shops around on Vintage, doesn't he? He's
on Vintage.
There. Yeah.
And someone had come into him and they didn't, and they got rid of him for like 30 quid, the whole first wave for like 30 quid.
Wow. You got a bargain.
Everything.
That's what Paul commented, I think, he put it up on the group, and I think Paul commented on it. But yeah, ridiculous. That's awesome. That's very, very cool. I guess so. One of the questions we had about Warhost is, so would the plan be down the line to get a book akin to the King John book, but a Warhost one, so you know, a chunky. I mean, not that this isn't, you know, chunky. It's still a lot in here. But would that be what you want down the line? Is that, you know, like a book to either expand on this or replace this? Would that be the plan?
Yeah, yes. I don't want to seem reluctant because we're actually having some discussions around what we want to do with Warhost. I think it deserves its own thing. At the moment, it's a part of Barons War. So you need the Barons War book and the Warhost book to play. One of the things that we were very conscious about on the Warhost website was, if you now buy the Warhost supplement from there, either digital or physical, we give you version 1 of the Barons War now, so you can as a download, so you don't need to own the Barons War to play. And I think it's now got such a following that it needs its own identity. So I think that's what we're exploring at the moment. I'd really would like to do at the moment is write a source book on the Fractured Crowns, which is the current setting. and like the Age of Fractured Crowns. So we got the 7 kingdoms, human kingdoms, and the elves in hiding, and the dwarves, and really drill into playing in that space. And I think that's what it needs. So, you know, am I writing that book? Yes. How far am I along? Pretty far along. Will it see the light of day? Yes, probably. But I'm not quite sure how at the minute. You know, Paul and I were talking about doing a starter set for Warhost, and you know, we you know, so we're talking plastic and we're talking all sorts of things at the moment. We've got, what's happened is, I think the Barons War has helped. People are now looking at Warhost and going, well, if the Barons War is that popular, I guess Warhost could be that popular as well. Mm-hmm. So we're now getting a lot of people talking about it. So we just want to do what's best with it.
Absolutely.
So I don't know is the point. But what I'm very keen to do is I don't want it to lose. Like I said, it's a passion project for me. So I'd like to be writing stuff for Warhost for the next 20 years. That's where I am. I've been writing lots of bits and pieces for the last 15, 20 years, which I didn't know was going to be Warhost. It was just ideas. So I want it to go in the right direction, in the right vein. That's where I want it to go. I don't want it to come out, everybody go hooray, and then it goes in the bargain bin, you know, because I don't think it would do it a service. And I think if we can't get, you know, I want people to feel as passionate about it as I do. I can't force them, obviously, but you know, I think it's got with the narrative that Barons War has, and you know, the way that you can build your lists and where you can take it, I think it leans quite heavily into a fantasy setting. So I think we could do something quite special with it. That's the plan.
Awesome. No, that's very cool. Well, Warhost has just drawn me into fantasy again. It's drawn Dom in.
True.
That's awesome. Well, I think what we'll just do for a second, we'll give Andy just a little bit of a break because there's a lot of starred comments. There's a lot.
Okay.
This might be one of the record ones, so Mike, just give you a preview for just a second. We got a little bit of news, a little announcement we've got, and then I think if it's okay with you, Andy, we'll just dive right in. I think this is going to be another one of those ones where a little bit like with Charlie, where it's going to be like there's going to be definitely room if you ever do want to come back for round 2, because I've already emailed the King has gone a bit nuts. I'm trying to condense the questions into sort of as few as possible, you know, where you can answer with one thing. So Tom, kick off the news, and then I can we can get back into it.
Yep, can do that. Right. So, well, I mean, mention him once and he'll appear. Is that right? What it is with Mr. Hicks? Because there's some of his handiwork. So these are new figures he's done for Brigade Games out in the US. So you've got British infantry in greatcoats with the Belgic shakos. I think they're for the 1812 campaign, but you could use them, well, for anything really, I guess. But so there's got the firing and loading. You've got the command section, advancing the greatcoats. Oh, it's the same one. Sorry, that's twice. There you go. So good, I'm showing it twice. And marching. So there you go. So yeah, I just wish these were easier to get hold of. That's the only problem with them. But yeah, look really, really cool. So nice work as always. The other thing I saw was Cromarty Forge have some new Sarmatians. So these are 10 and 15 mil. So I guess the 10 mil will work well. I think to 10 and 15 mil. I can't remember which ones worked really well with the Epic when I had them, but they got a whole range of these out. cavalry and infantry, light infantry, as well as the hoplite types. So if you're interested in your Cromarty Forge, check them out. They're STLs, and also I believe is it Plastic Soldier Company, I think, do them printed out. So if you want them, you don't have to do that. The other thing I saw was given all these thematic campaigns and sort of scenario-based games, War Bases have got some new animals. So you've got your poultry, you've got your oxen, you've got your goats, and they are, especially for the Welsh, got some sheep. So yeah, some really cool stuff from War Bases as usual. Talking to them at Salute, they're pushing ahead with so many more figures, as well as the wonderful bases and buildings that they're already doing. So really cool. And the other one, I guess you saw this, Steve, given you're back into bolt action. Armies of the British Commonwealth book for bolt action is up on pre-order.
Did you see the plastic kit that's been announced, the plastic Gurkhas?
Those ones.
Yes. Oh, me and my mate, we've been having just weeks about what we thought there was going to be a plastic release, because they said there's going to be accompanying plastic remote with every book. And we were like, what is it going to be? Australians? Is it going to be Chindits? What's it going to be? And Gurkhas. Did not expect that. That's definitely out of left field. But yeah, I'll be getting some of that. Yeah.
You want some of that bit? Yes, indeed. Yeah. So I think that's what I saw. Oh, I think did I say Sarmatians? I didn't. Sam Knights. I'm quite right.
Knights.
Sorry, Graham's just correct. Sam Knights. It was Sam Knights. For those Cromarty Forge. Anyway, there you go. That was what I saw. What about you?
I picked up on a couple of sci-fi things and a tank. Well, first of all, let's do this. I saw that this was. Oh wow, that's a mate. Well, thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. We appreciate Andy joining as well. I will. That's awesome. Thank you very much. I saw this was available from hang on.
I like that.
War Fulcrum Games. So it's a print. So you get the files, but it comes with loads of options to stick on it. Now I believe it's 28, 156, 28 mil, and I believe it's designed for their use in their game 1918. But obviously you're playing 0 hour, aren't you, and stuff like that. I'm sure you can find that. So yeah, that's available to have a look. For people, I know we have some people that play Dystopian Wars in the group, so they've got a new starter set for a couple of their forces. This is the Alliance starter, the weird steamboats rather than just boats, or just Viking rowboats. I'm not very good with my boats. I know that. So that's on that. I did play Dystopian Wars in the first edition. I had a whole force. I played it twice and. It never sort of a light of day again. I enjoyed it. I just found it really, really complicated. But I enjoyed both times I played it. And then Steve, I got this one for you. I don't know if you care about this. There's a Mandalorian army now for Star Wars Legion. Before anyone else, I don't know how much this costs. You get the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda in it. There's quite a lot of stuff in there. But I know obviously they've stopped supporting. Well, not stopped supporting. They've stopped releasing stuff for the 54 mil scale one. Shatterpoint. Is it Shatterpoint? Yeah. But they are still supported. They're throwing everything behind Legion by the look of it. So anyway, that's what I saw. But we've got a little reveal, and it's
don't know, Alan.
And we can reveal our artwork for this year's CrapCon, which is pretty much sold out, right?
It is. I think we've got 4 tickets left.
Four tickets left.
Something like that.
4 tickets left, which is mad because we increased the tickets.
We increased it by quite a lot this time.
We increased it just because in case people drop out. So if no one drops out, then we need to tell them that there's going to be a few more people this year. Yes. So as you know,
Let's
just throw it up. So this is this year's official CrapCon artwork.
Dun, 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 dun.
There we go. The Empire Strikes Crack. Our artwork is
Awesome.
we're pleased. What else could you want? Caesar, a English Civil War musketeer, a goth orc for 2nd edition goth orc, and some legally distinct chicken walkers from the Hobday Mouse Company. Yeah, there we go. There we are. So this we'll be doing again t-shirts again. All of the proceeds will go to the charity, and there'll be some variants in there as well. But yeah, we've got to say a big thank you to Matt Klein who did the artwork. Give him the brief, and he goes away and he comes back, and the guy is awesome. Do go and check it out. So Matt Klein, he's in the group. If you have a look on YouTube as well, he's got a channel. He puts up all sorts of war games. He does everything from 40k to Zulu stuff. He does Napoleonic games. He's doing Wars of the Roses on there, and he's such an interesting bloke because, and I think we said this before, he's an ex-NYPD sketch artist.
Yeah.
And he's featured on quite a lot of these, the crime shows where they interview people and they showed a picture of what the guy ended up with, the guy who they caught, and then they show like Matt's sketch next to it, and it basically is him. He's ex-military as well. He's a lovely chap. And we should give him a plug because Matt also has a game coming out that he's been working on, which is his passion project, which Steve, this has got you written all over. So this is his game. His game is called, I'll start with it, his game's called Red Jungle. It's a 28mm supernatural Vietnam War skirmish game. He's been basically enjoying writing and designing it. He's got model. I think he's working with a designer to do some plastics for this as well. This is the more normal looking bit of the artwork. But if you want, imagine Rambo and Predator meets Stranger Things and the X-Files, and then you end up with sort of stuff like this going on. And he's got there's models for this. Look how cool they look. This is what I mean, and this is all over his channel. Go and have a look. And this is all his artwork. He does all of this. If you follow his Instagram page, he runs a site called Battle Tribe as well, where he does loads of cool artwork. If you want a Mandalorian, like with an AK-47 on a patch, he has that that kind of stuff. He does it all himself. Rob, yeah, very cool stuff. I don't know what that is, but it looks ace. It's very, very cool.
He looks hungry.
He looks hungry. It does. And then you've got models like this. And why would you not want to? I mean, there's a T-Rex. There's a T-Rex in the jungle. He's sent me through so many pictures. I just encourage you guys to go and give him a bit of love and have a look at it. We're really, really pleased that he supports us with his awesome artwork. He did last year's artwork as well, and we were sitting there going, I don't see how he's going to.
How's he going to improve on that?
And then disappeared in the inbox this week, so we had to share it. But yeah, we're very, very pleased to have him. So yes, please do go and check that out.
Do you know what I'd love to, Martin? Do you know what I'd love to see?
What's that?
If you explained the concept of a 28mm supernatural skirmish game to Alex.
Alex Sovereign.
No, yeah, I think his brain might just check out.
It might just blow up. Yeah.
But also Alex does like his metal, and that's one of the most metal images I've seen for quite a long time. I mean,
I love that.
Like, look at this.
That is so cool.
Yeah, go check out.
Absolutely love that.
It's awesome. He's got a picture as well with this kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of like a legless cockroach is like eating a soldier. It's almost like, I think you got traps and things as well. He's got the rules. It's all going on to Kickstarter. I think the models are going on to Kickstarter. I think the rules he's actually publishing and putting out himself. But yeah, go and check it out. But speaking of rules and other ones, I'm gonna quickly jump because I've seen this is another question that's come up a lot, Andy. So I hope you don't mind me poking you with a stick about this one. It's come up in this one, annuals, and people are just wondering: is there a chance of anything happening on the horizon with Mortal Gods, or is that what's going on with that? Because it's had some there's games that go up in the group of it quite a bit, and at Salute there's people playing it, so it's still active, and people are just wondering if that could be on the horizon. I think.
Yes. You want more?
Great, there we go. No, that's perfect.
That's all we need.
There we go. So right, I can
yes.
get rid of questions.
I'll be brief. As you probably know, I left Futsal last year, but Futsal still have Mortal Gods, and we have discussed doing a V2, and it doesn't. There's not much that needs changing, and we're working on it now. So it's Futsal. Well, I say Futsal are doing all the heavy lifting, and there will be a version 2. What happened with Mortal Gods is Futsal's quite a boutique business, and then we went and created a game which cost a lot to reprint, which is all the cards. So when we had the cards initially done, I think it cost us like £15,500 or something ridiculous just for the cards. Wow. So as a one-off print is fine. It's not, it's printing them, cutting them, sorting them, putting them into a set, that kind of stuff. It's really expensive, and doing it once is okay because you have that initial uptake, but then doing a second run of it, you're never going to sell that many, or you're not sure. And then if you don't print as many, it's like costs twice as much for the cards. It's ridiculous. So that decision to do cards, however much I like games with cards, it really hampered Mortal Gods. But as a game, it's still live and kicking. We just need to find a better way to release it. That's what the plan is.
Awesome.
So yes.
Wicked. Excellent. So I've got one here from Rob, which going back into Baron's War, which is, why are the Welsh so tricky in the King John book? And I'm slightly frightened to play them. But the Scots seem fun, but the Welsh would just wipe them out and use their aggressive play against them.
Yeah, I think what people are going to find with the King John book is, and across all of the retinues are, they all play quite differently, and that's the intention of it. So up until now, having a feudal European force, they all kind of played the same way you tweak them. So what people are going to have to do is learn to play them. And the Welsh play very different. They're quite hit and run. And you need to use that really to get the best from them. So that we kind of took that, for the Welsh, what they would have done is they would have gone to a fight, ambushed. If they were getting beaten, they would have run away. And the English thought they were running away, but what they were doing was just regrouping and coming back the next day and giving them all the same. So you have to change the way that you mentally play the Welsh.
Excellent. David, a Warhost question. I was interested to see the change from priests to reckoners proposed for Warhost. Do you see them fulfilling a semi-judicial role in the Seven Kingdoms?
Yes, yeah. They are the people who go out and lay down what's been agreed in the council at Ardenfell. So at the end of the day, if your priest stroke reckoner turns up at your village, they're going to tell you how it is. So that's the way they work. So they're sent in, and at the end of the day, what their view is law. So a lot of fights happen because they come in with a new law from the council, and the local village may not agree with it, or the local town, and that they'll just kick off. But ultimately, they're the transmuters of the truth. So I think a reckoner is a better name than a priest. A priest is quite religious, and although they kind of fulfill that kind of role in some settlements, ultimately they're just laying down the slap. That's the way that they are.
Paul's because they're in the email. There was a there was a picture of the sculpts, wasn't there, in the email? That
Yes.
was the Reckoners, wasn't it? They're up for pre-order.
Yeah, they're the first 3 that we've done
in the week.
this Friday. Yeah. They're the first 3 we've done.
I might see if. Yeah, they were very cool. I saw those, and then I was like, oh, maybe I'll have to because I've got quite a lot of Wargames Atlantic plastics that are sitting around as well. So I need to, and you've done that article showing, how you could kit bash different ones together.
How you can do the different kingdoms,
humans. Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's probably going to happen now. So that's awesome. Chris, logistic is key for wars. How are you going to get more stuff for us to buy? At least the strip.
There's plenty coming. There's plenty coming, Chris.
The problem with Wargames Atlantic, it just doesn't produce enough stuff, does it? I mean, it's just crikey.
No. I mean, this is never anything coming out.
In a serious note, logistics are key. And the way that we've set up both for the way that we produce plastic in the UK and in the US, it's taken a bit of time to bed in, and some of that has been driven politically. So we fulfill everything in the US from the US, so we don't have to deal with tariffs and the madness and all of that kind of thing that we're finding from not living there. And then the rest of the world we're fulfilling from the UK. So we've kind of doubled up, our production and how we produce and the logistics around that. So it's one of the things that we're really looking at, and we need to get smarter at. And we are. So yeah, logistics are key, and what we will do is produce more and absolutely build castles.
Yeah. Mike says he likes to think that there's some rogue reckoners out there causing trouble.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. You see, it must be, as you say already, seeing people sort of take ideas and sort of go with them already is really fun. It must be really fun. Where are we? Sorry, this keeps on jumping around.
Where are you going to head with Warhost next? Sorry, I'm just going to ask in terms of kind of. I'm going to use the word factions. Where are you going with factions for that?
Dwarves. Paul is finishing off the dwarves. They've been a little bit delayed because we need the ponies need a bit more work, and they're quite key for the dwarves in our world. So it's kind of stalled us a bit. But the idea is we're going to hopefully launch some dwarves in the next few months. But also with the humans, we were going to create a whole bunch of humans, but what we found is kit bashing, funnily enough, what Martin said with the Wargames Atlantic, it really works. So we took a lot of their kits and had a go with it, and we were able to create, I say we, it's the royal we, Steve Beckett, who's an absolute star. He created one trooper from each of the kingdoms to give us a grounding of what they would look like, and it kind of worked, and we were really pleased with it. So what Steve and I are working on now is we're creating the Kingdom of Byland, which is where the orcs have come through the gate, and they just absolutely raised the place. So they're like a broken Warhost. They're kind of fighting a rearguard action, trying to keep their identity alive before the orcs wipe them out. So we're creating a Byland Warhost using the plastics, and then Paul will sculpt some key figures. So he's sculpting, as Martin said, he's sculpted some reckoners. So one of those will go in there. He's doing some magi at the minute, so we'll use one of those. He's doing some of the what we call the Narathai, which are the fallen elves, and there's a group of those that fight with the Byland Warhost. So what we're doing is really focusing on that to give us some humans, because one of the things I've realised where over the last year or so is you really need to. I've not thought about it. I thought fantasy, as in elves, dwarves, orcs, all the rest. The reality is you need to get humans right in the world. Yeah. So we're really looking at that at the minute, and if we can nail the humans and make them believable, and the politics as well as the fighting, then we can hang everything else on that. So we're spending a bit of time on that, really.
Awesome. Paul, sort of following on from the humans, Paul's wondering if they're going to get a big, they're going to get like a big monster or something, a big friend.
The Canaanites will, the guys who worship the dead. And when we say worship the dead, they worship their ancestors. And what they do is they raise them because they like to bring them back to fight. So they are still part of the human kingdom, even though half their army are raised dead. And the High King puts up with it for a couple of reasons. We'll cover that more in the Chronicles. But and we've just worked out what kind of crazy big monster we want to do for them. So they will definitely get something. But cool. None of the other humans at the moment. But we'll wait and see what happens.
Awesome. This is one that came in on Facebook from Nick. He's asked me he's asked me to ask you to talk about I think you talked about this on your blog before about warring clans, a samurai version, the Baron's War that you were working on. Is that still going on?
People may not know this. My favorite thing in the whole world is samurai. So that's my real, historically, that's my real passion. And it's one of the reasons that Test of Honor saw the light today with Graham. And it was the first game I worked on because I love samurai, that's how we got there. The Warring Clans at the moment is just me wanting to play samurai. So I like the Baron's War system. So in my spare time, in inverted commas, I'm just doing it as a hobby project at the moment. So will it become a game? I don't know. I have no intention of it becoming a game. However, if people want to play it, the goal, I think, will be to make those army lists available for people to download and play Samurai and tell me what they think. I've got plenty of other things to do at the moment than write Samurai.
So how many plates? I was just thinking through the chats, like how many plates are spinning at any one time? Yeah,
I've heard at least 20 already. I don't know about anything else.
I just want to play some samurai games. So, it's an indulgence at the minute. If it becomes something more, then that's fine. However, if people want to indulge with me, we'll make it available. So, I know we're pressed for time, but I was talking about it with George because George asked me what I really liked, and he didn't know that it was samurai. And I got into samurai, and he didn't know anything about samurai. And I went home and I wrote a 70-page manuscript for him that night, all about samurai and how they play and how it would work in the Baron's War. And I wrote it out and said, here, go and he's gone and taken that and written some profiles.
I'm not going to lie, that's verging on obsession, Andy.
I won't lie, they absolutely my passion, and I respect Graham too much to go riding all over Test of Honor, and as for me, Test of Honor is still my game as well, even though Graham's taken it and he's created second edition. He's done a beautiful thing with it, and it sits with Gray for now. I just wanted to see what Baron's War Samurai would be like, really.
Awesome.
So Nick wants if Nick wants the rules, if he wants the army list, he drop me a DM me and I'll send them to him.
That's awesome.
When we've done
it. I'll let him
go. Yeah, why not? And anybody else as well, we can do that.
That's awesome stuff. You're gonna get bombarded. Just so you know,
it's more people play testing it. We don't have to release it to, if people want to play, then they can play and we'll just play it. And we'll meet up and play Baron's War Samurai. I'm cool with that.
Ace. Ace.
Lion King.
Old School says narrative games tell a story where you develop your own style of play out of spite. Yep, that's basically been my way of playing with Robin for the last 3 years.
I love it. I'm gonna steal that. That's perfect.
That's Mike was said such a beautiful image. I'd love to see this as part of a print for sale. Is it which one? There were so many. Are you talking about was that about the King John signing Magna Carta?
I think
That might have been.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That would be very.
Well, look.
Apparently,
just
you want them
quickly
as
on
well,
prints.
Martin. There you go.
Yeah, look.
Yeah.
You know, this is the thing with prints. In my experience, we've talked about getting prints done, and then lots of people say, you know, and I mean this in the nicest possible way. Lots of people say they want them, and we go and get prints done, and then they sit in a warehouse forever.
Yeah.
So maybe we say, okay, sign up for a limited run, and we'll just go and get them all printed. I don't mind. I've got all the original artwork. We could go and get them all printed properly if people want them. Yeah.
Excellent. Big Spider Daddy says to what you guys were talking about before. The guys who make Blood and Plunder said that they designed their faction rules based on what everyone else says they hated about them.
I love
fair.
That works too.
Excellent. Paul has said, have you mentioned June? I don't know if that's a cryptic.
I think Paul's alluding to us releasing the Outramare figures that we have. So we were talking about releasing them in June.
So Dwarven must have said, is the supplement getting a supplement? I think that was as soon as he heard the news that there was how much you'd had to take out of King John to a supplement.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't explore what's coming from that you didn't include. What nations? I'm going to say nations. Would you have included?
Well, it's not so much the nations; it's more the history. So we had loads of history in there that we cut out. We had a load more scenarios, etc., that we could have included.
Right.
So, you know, that's easily 20, 30 pages.
No, that's. I mean, the history section is this. I said this in the book, and one of the big comments on the book is just how expansive the history section is in it. Anyway, when you know, and it's not to throw shade at other books from other companies, but obviously, you know, those ones are, you know, sometimes you get, you know, a couple of pages, especially in setting, and then you're just straight into list of, you know, but in there you've got that, and then the sort of the number of characters. I mean, obviously you had to get your 2 William Marshall versions in there, but you have that didn't go unnoticed. But as I was going through it, it's like they just keep going. It just keeps going and going, you know, and then with a decent history, a well-researched history for each one, which expanded that sort of 30 pages at the start to probably more like 50 pages worth of history, you know, and then into the rules. But it just permeated throughout it, which was very clear to see that is,
that's all Benedict. The guy's amazing. You know, he's really good at all of that, and his research is just phenomenal.
I don't think anyone's mentioned the most impressive thing I thought from that entire book. That's those 2 lovely bits of ribbon to keep the pages open in the right place. Well, that's just brilliant. Fantastic. Love that.
Excellent. That's very cool. Dan, when we were chatting about him, he says he was a hardcore. He is hardcore GW, and this is easily one of the most accessible jumps over into historical miniatures. The amount of plastic really helps. He doesn't do metal minis anymore, a bit like Steve. He did his time in the 90s, and he's gone down the rabbit hole. He's been researching notable bastards of the time period, and that's got to be great. You know, he's you know, Dan likes his fantasy, his Lord of the Rings. He's him and Stu really into, as one of their podcast was called Out of the Frying Pan, and they're big into the Middle Earth strategy battle game. And I know he dabbles here and there in painting some historical things. He's painted a couple of my minis up, so I know for him to sort of say, yes, this has taken me, you know, they say he's hardcore GW. So again, it just shows that that's
That's
all the
nice.
reach that,
Yeah.
that it has. He'll be at CrackCon running the painting competition. Let's say in October. This is probably a good point. Where can people get Warhost and everything? I probably should have said that. I have
your miniatures.
Yeah.
Warhost.online is what it is. So that's the website.
Excellent. Yes, Nick. He says he's.
You beware though. If you go on there.
Yes, it's bad for your. It's well.
Bad for
Well,
your
this is
wallet.
the thing. It wasn't on my bingo card, and I've got trays of orcs there. I've got Baron's War there. I've got some ghouls there for CrackCon, but and then I've got more orcs just here. Then I've got a whole set of knights and that I'm building up to try and make more personalities, because I've had to go down some little rabbit hole for vassal French knights for this next Baron's War game that we're doing, and I want to find a suitable historical bastard to lead the Poitevins forces to try and get. And I said this is really weird. I need to find a princess miniature to be Princess Joan that's rescued. There's not a lot. There's not a lot. There was a Matilda that was done. Was it for Partisan? Like a few years ago. I swear there was one done.
Oh no, Futsal. We started doing Anarchy miniatures. So Futsal have a bunch. So I'm sure if you speak to them, they do have a Matilda.
Off I go. Off I go.
There you go.
Who are these? Right. Where's
anybody else feel that there should be a historical podcast called The Miserable Bastards or something like that?
The Miserable Bastards?
Yeah.
The Horrible Bastards.
The Horrible Bastards.
It's more fun being a horrible bastard. I did appreciate the rule that when you guys were putting I haven't read. I have to admit, I went straight obviously to Falk to see what you've done, and the rule where he just doesn't care and he'll just attack peasants. I just thought that was ace. I don't like peasants. I'm going to extort some monks. Yeah, brilliant. That was.
Did he like anybody?
Awesome.
I mean, literally, did that guy like?
He liked his brother. He liked his brother because he went to the Pope to try and get a dispensation for him because they were under attack, and the Pope agreed to it. But in the meantime, Henry VI's forces broke into the castle and hung his brother, and then he got back the day. He got there like the next day, and saw his brother and like everyone else had been hung. And then he went on. He wrote like a. It's in the British Library. Sorry, this is off on a right tangent. He's actually written like a defense of his actions. There's actually like a thing he's written about why he was okay, why he was right, and then he died. And then he.
Well, that makes it okay then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
These days. I'm sorry. Yeah. So James said, absolutely yes, because you guys have terrain as well.
Yes.
You've got some of the SDLs, as James points out. So you got the fort because Dom, you used the fortified.
I have. I've got the forts. I got that from the Kickstarter. Really good. Really nice. Still not used it for a game. Really nice.
we were just in a really good position when we did Death and Taxes. We needed a village, so we created a village, had a village created that would work for the Baron's War. So each of these bits of terrain have been specially made for the game. So yeah, and they print really well, and we made them all print on the smallest possible print that you could have.
Yeah.
So we tried to make it as usable as possible.
I appreciate that. As somebody who tried to print out a paddy field once, that realised that I would have needed a plate about 4 times the size of my plate. Luckily, Robin came to the rescue, but yeah.
Robin does come to the rescue with printing, and just in his general terrain needs. Like that time we needed Bedouin tents, and then he made them out of a dishcloth and some cocktail sticks. Then we had Bedouin tents for the next game. Tabletop Dan says, "Hi, he just wanted to say that it's his first historical war game, having played other miniature games, and he absolutely loves it. Going into the history for everything from models to terrain."
That's awesome. Good to hear.
Fantastic.
Makes the old heart pump better as an old Grosnard. Brilliant.
Matt would like you to tell Paul to sculpt some non-Gurkha 14th Army and he can have all my money. You got to buy all those dwarves first, Matt. And that's
there's a legally binding contract.
Will Warhost get eagles who turn up right at the end?
Oh dear.
And to be fair, this was the one which I knew someone was going to ask this. What's going on with the sharp game that you're allowed to say?
Yeah, it's in development. I think we need to do classic fantasy battles first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we are, and that's nearly done. But yeah, it's on the list. It's there, definitely on the list, and we've already mapped out how we want it to work. But I can't really say more than that at the minute.
No.
But yeah. Excuse me. I don't want to distract from where we currently are. Does that make sense?
That's fair. No, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's good to you can consolidate on it for at least for a few weeks.
Yeah, I think ultimately, I'm a massive fan of Sharp, like a lot of us are. So I want to do it justice. So I also think when we do it and we release it, there'll be lots of eyes on it. So we want to create a really good game.
It's as an offer.
Excellent. Where is the it's jumped around. Oh yeah, Bad Squiddo as well. So this, yeah, he did say Arsis on his. Obviously, we're going. It's the second Barons War, so the De Montfort rebellion. We want to do in time.
It's done. We've already written it, and I use the royal we. Benedict's already written it. So yeah, and excuse me, it will be coming, definitely.
Was that an Easter present, Andy? I'm just asking.
That was a Christmas, and an Easter.
No, so maybe I need to talk to him.
Yeah, I think you should.
But it's quite an easy one to do, really. So I think we'll do it as a like a campaign book or a source book. There's not a lot of change really in the 30 years or whatever it is between the two. Maybe a bit more than that, isn't it? 40 years in between the two. It's just new characters and new scenarios, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
nice.
Just a whole new set of horrible people to
horrible bastards. Yeah.
Horrible bastards. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's awesome. Because of course, I should say as well, because War Games Atlantic are coming to Crackling, so you're going to. I think Charlie said he's going to bring Barons War and classic fantasy battles as well. I think Paul said something about Warhost. So
we're going to come with Warhost.
Yeah. So that's all going to be going on. So any of you guys are in the chat, and I mean I know it's October, so there's a little while before that, so you have time to go and get them and then practice the rules and then come along and play. But there was a great deal of interest around classic fantasy battles. As I was saying earlier on, I couldn't get near. I wanted to go and hear about it, but it took until 3:30 before I could. So was that must have been quite nice at Salute as well, because I did see. I think the people who were talking there, they were just a constant flow of people looking at that.
Yeah, it was really all positively received. It was its first outing, so and I saw in the feed that someone asked about 10 mil other things. So the brief we've had is to write it as a 10 mil rank and file game. So the first bit is obviously for classic fantasy battles, but the way the rules have been written, we can easily just do Agincourt, or we could do Samurai, or we could do whatever else we want to do with it. So yeah, it's done. I'm really pleased with it. Charlie only had 4 bits of feedback for me, which is unheard of, which I've also taken as very positive. So we're just now play testing it, because it's that thing where George and I have play tested it quite a bit, and we think it's great, but we wrote it, so we're going to think it's great. We need other people to look at it and play some games, and that's where we are. And I think it's a lot of fun. So,
what's the concept behind it, Andy? I mean, obviously it's rank and file, but is it?
Yeah, the concept is the way that we've done it is that because it's a mass battle, because it's 10 mil, you know, you want to have that feeling of commanding an entire army and all the things that can happen with it. So we've written in a way that your units will have a bunch of things that they can do without being prompted to do it, and they'll do those naturally, and everybody gets an action to do those things. But then you create a pool of command points, and I'm calling them command points. They're not going to be called that or actions. This is just what we've called them. But it's every single unit, if they've got so many troops in them, will generate a command action. And then you spend those how you want to spend them among your force. And what that will do is it'll allow you to focus where you want to focus and do what you want to do with them. Right. And some of that is spending these command points or command actions on units that are engaged. And if you don't spend the upkeep, they'll actually take attrition. So all of a sudden, you're actually using those special actions to command your army, if that makes sense. Yeah. And then depending on what type of commander you are, you'll generate actions in different ways. And for the fantasy game, you know, certain races or factions will generate different numbers of command actions. So, and you can put command stands in different units, which will also either generate extra actions or allow you to do different things. So that will give you that kind of overarching way of feeling like you're commanding a complete force. And then what we've done, and that's the basic way it works. Then once you've learned that, you put command stands, you know, you have a center and your flanks, and you can put command stands in, and then that gives you a radius bubble of how you spend your command actions. So if you're playing classic fantasy battles and you have a mixed evil force, some of your command points won't work on different, you know, you won't be able to spend them if they're generated in different ways. So, you know, there's different levels of complexity as it moves up.
Yeah.
Nice. That sounds cool.
That was excellent.
Very good.
When I was chatting to at Salute, I think they had me when they said you can put a giant in a unit and have sort of, you know, you have troops around you because you have, like, you know, you say like mixed units. You can have the undead with some orcs, with some goblins, you know, on the same side. So you can go and pick up all those really nice different sets. Because then what happened was Robert and I left Salute. We said goodbye to Matt. He went and drank a beer, and then he went and bought a load of skeletons. I believe is what is the and then I got the blame, which had nothing to do with me. I just like to add. Absolutely awesome. Wow. I mean, there's still so many questions, but I know we're coming to the end of the time, and I do want to show off some of the pictures this week. Do you think we could entice you back in the future to go on?
Of course I'll come back if people want to hear from me. Yeah, of course I'll come back.
I don't think, I mean, like I say, it's really because we get a whole range of people on it, from sculptors like Mr. Hicks, from Charlie, sort of working in, you know, actually sort of in the industry, and then as a rules designer. But I don't, and, you know, we've chatted to lots of other people who write rules, but I don't think we've heard from someone who's said so many times, this is finished, this is done, I'm writing this, and I'm writing this. I'm beginning to understand why. I know you said you had a week off, but what else do you do?
My goodness me.
I've got family as well, you know. They don't see me. My youngest said, "Well, you're always working, Dad." It's like, yeah, well, you know, it's better than hanging out with you, you know.
I want to share some of these photos, some of the viewers' pictures here to end on, because I wanted to make sure I did this, because it's been the week of the pool. And that's a mixture of people painting stuff that Paul Hicks has done, and we just had so many people called Paul posting photos. So and again, I don't know if it's just because of, you know, having Charlie on because of Salute, and then also the release has been come. there's a lot of stuff that you're responsible for, that's coming out in here. So, Dom, these were put up for you, and this was by someone called Axebreaker, which on the profile name was just awesome. These
they're nice.
Those
Just-
Pyrrhic pikemen.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you're going to take your life in your hands in your hand every time you try
Got
and move
blood
them,
written
aren't
all
you?
over it, yeah.
But they are beautiful.
They are lovely.
Yeah, I like them. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Edward has been working on some Gates of Antari stuff, which I haven't seen for a little while, actually. So it's nice to see that come up. Very nice.
I have a real soft spot for Gates of Antares.
You've played Gates of Antares, haven't you, Steve?
No, it was something we looked into, but we never really took the plunge. And the next thing you know, it had been moved across to Skytrek. So from what I've seen, it's a really cracking sci-fi game. It really is.
Awesome. Gert has been working on something on these are his Welsh, I believe.
I do look like the Welsh, yeah. Very
Excellent
nice.
stuff.
Oh, nice.
Very good.
Then Paul Scrivens has he's been working on some essentially War Master terrain. Look at that.
That is
Look at
lovely.
that. Although, or I guess also usable in a classic fantasy battle game, which is 10 mil. Which is coming up. Then Paul Franklin
nice.
is working on some World War
very
II.
good. Yeah.
And then this was the first Paul, but I can't remember which Paul's second name this was. So this was the first Paul I wrote down, but he's been working on some 15 mil.
Oh, they're
World
cool.
War II.
I like them.
They're fantastic.
Yeah. What
They're very
manufacturer
nice.
are those? Anybody know? Beautiful.
I think he did
Like
mention in the post. I can't remember who they were though, but he did say who they were.
They're not Battlefront. Are they Battlefront?
No.
No,
I
I
think
don't
that,
think they
I
are.
can't remember the name of them.
Oh, I'll
For
go and have a
15
look.
mil, they're fantastic.
Yeah, very nice.
Mm.
Very cool. Then some guy called Robin's done that, which is going to be looking at me across the table. The thing is, mate, he's managed. It just looks so mean. It just looks so mean. I feel sorry for my troll. Let's go. So that's the air elemental for the elves from Warhost. It's very cool. Then Paul Richardson has been working on. Now I did actually. I've forgotten who this is now. He's gone to a lot of effort to.
They're cracking.
So this is a local bastard, I think, to him for the Baron's War. So this is Paul is very good at picking out this guy. This is William de Canteloup, first Baron of Eaton Bray, Sheriff of Warwickshire and Leicestershire, Keeper of Kenilworth Castle, and one of King John's evil advisors.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Love
I
it.
know Paul was actually talking about doing a sort of trying to see how many people in the group were up for a Baron's War sort of, I guess, like a narrative day of fighting battles at some point. So I dare say he might get in touch with you, Andy, because he wanted.
Absolutely.
We were talking back in March, and just the people who were there, I think there were about 12 people straight away just went yes, and that's before he even sort of posted. So that would be ace. Simon,
we're having we're having loads of events going on this year. So Mark Vance is the man, but I mean, if anybody wants to organise an event, wants to invite me, I'm quite happy to go and play. I'm more than happy to help people put on Baron's War events.
Awesome. There you go,
Cool.
Paul. I know you're in the chat. Simon's done some Normans.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Some lovely crossbowmen to I do like a crossbow, as people know. Tim has been working on World War II. So basically, it's essentially medievals or World War II.
Yeah, that seems to be everything.
They look excellent. And then Tony, he's also been working on Baron's War stuff. He was weighed down with plastic for the War Games Atlantic stand when he how does he get it back on the plane? Does he have room? Or does he go does he go through the tunnel?
No, I think he flies, but he's probably
he
uses diplomatic things. I don't know. He's in the military. You never know.
Diplomatic. Does that get him extra luggage space?
Probably. He says, I've got to carry all my toy soldiers back with me. Yeah.
Paul says, super cheers, Andy. It's early days, but more info will follow. David Few says you have to support your local bastard. I assume he's talking about the Barons' War and not the upcoming elections. Excellent things. Well, look, we are in overtime. There's so many questions, so I could probably carry on asking you and just pick your brain. But thank you so much for taking the time to come and
very welcome.
Chat with us. And of course, thank you to everyone who's come and watched. I've been keeping an eye on the numbers, and it's been up there as one of the most watched. So that's awesome. Thank you to everyone who's commented, and thank you to everybody, of course, who watches on the replay. This goes up onto Spotify.
It does.
That's right.
Spotify.
It does. Does it go onto Apple?
No, someone was asking that, and now I've got to find out how to bloody do that, haven't I? So, Jeez, I don't know. My little project for this week is to work out how to put it up on Apple. But there you go. It is on Spotify. I thought I was being clever with that, but there you go.
There you go. Awesome stuff. Well, again, Andy, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you everyone for watching. We're off for good behaviour next week because it's a bank holiday Monday. But we will post up when and where we will be back up in the group. We will be back, so that will be on the 11th. Is that right? Yep, the 11th of May. And by then we might have thought what the stream is going to be about. So anyway, we hope you all have an awesome week. And we'll see you all later. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
See you, everybody.